Hello kids, welcome to story number 2. Today our story is called Eklavya and it is a true story which happened during the times of Mahabharata. Once upon a time there lived a boy called Eklavya. He was a tribal boy. He lived in a forest. He was very poor and he was not like those royal families of the prince and the princess. But he was a very smart boy, very intelligent and a bright lad. Now Eklavya was very fond of archery, means the bow and the arrow. He loved to try and aim at something and he wanted to learn more. He didn't know from where to learn. So he decided that I'm going to find the best teacher to teach me archery. Now in the next village there was a teacher called Dronacharya. Dronacharya was considered one of the most renowned teachers for archery. So he said, I will go to Dronacharya and I'm sure that he will teach me how to become better at this and how to be the best at this. He was that determined to be the best. So one day he leaves his house and he goes to meet Dronacharya, and as soon as he sees Dronacharya, first he bows down at his feet and he says, I have come to pay my respects, teacher, and I really want to learn the bow and arrow from you. Now Dronacharya asks him, who are you? So Eklavya says, I'm a tribal boy, I live in the next village. Now Dronacharya was a very good teacher, very renowned, but the only problem was that Dronacharya only used to teach the kings and the queens, the royal families and the princes. So he said, no, I'm sorry, I cannot teach you. I do not teach poor and tribal people, so you please go away from here. Of course, Eklavya was very disappointed, very disheartened, but without saying a word, he again bowed down at the teacher's feet and he left from there. Now when he reached home, he was so sad. He said, let me just go to sleep, I'll decide tomorrow. But when he wakes up in the morning the next day, he has made up his mind that no, I'm not going to give up learning the bow and the arrow. So what if Dronacharya has said no, but in my heart I have already made him a teacher. So what did he do? He did a very smart thing. He went over there in the middle of the jungle and out of sand he made a statue same as of Dronacharya that he had met yesterday. Then from that day onwards, every single day he would go to the jungle and he would first bow down at the feet of Dronacharya, take his blessings with full respect and start practicing the bow and the arrow. He did this for so many years consistently without missing a single day, not thinking that, oh, he did not teach me, now I cannot become good. He did not give up because he believed in his heart that Dronacharya was sitting here looking at him, showing him the right technique, and he really became a very good archer. Now once what happened, when after a few years, when even the Pandavas, whom at that time Dronacharya was teaching, they all came in the forest for hunting. Now when they came over there, they had got along a dog with them. Now while they were hunting and looking for the animal, the dog ran away somewhere inside the forest. At that time suddenly he saw Eklavya and he started barking. Dogs are going to bark at strangers, so he started barking. Now when he started barking and Eklavya saw that, just to stop his barking, what did he do? He shot an arrow into the dog's mouth, but he shot it in such a way that the dog does not get hurt. Like that, he shot 7 arrows only to stop the barking, not hurting the dog. The dog, of course, was now completely could not bark. His mouth had completely closed. So he was coming back towards Dronacharya and the Pandavas, and they were all shocked to see these 7 arrows. They were shocked that there was not a single drop of blood over there that was falling. The dog was not wailing or crying or anything. So they said, oh my God, who is this great archer? He must be very good. So they said, let's go inside and try and find him. They went inside and they found Eklavya. The minute Dronacharya saw Eklavya, he said, oh, this is that same boy who had come to learn from me and I had said no to him. He is the archer. So Eklavya, on seeing Dronacharya, was feeling so overwhelmed that he went first running to Dronacharya, bowed down at his feet, took his blessings. He's saying, oh, I am blessed today. My teacher has come here. Dronacharya is saying, what are you saying? I have not taught you anything. Did you put those 7 arrows in the dog's mouth? But the dog did not get even this much hurt. So Eklavya said yes. So Dronacharya is asking Eklavya, who is your teacher? Eklavya is saying, oh, you want to see my teacher? Come. He takes them to this tree, and there he shows the statue of Dronacharya which he has made. He's saying, I have been learning from this teacher. That is from you, Dronacharya. Dronacharya was shocked. All the Pandavas were also shocked. He had become such a great archer by himself through his perseverance, through his decision of not giving up. He did not have a teacher who taught him. In spite of that, he learnt it. So they were all very, very impressed with him. Now, Dronacharya, in spite of being such a good teacher, his favorite student was Arjun. He wanted Arjun to be the best archer in the world. So he did one very cunning thing. What did he do? That he did it only out of affection for Arjun. He did it also because he could foresee the future, and in that he knew that Arjun would have to be one of the greatest warriors ever known. So he tells Eklavya, if you say that you have learnt this archery from me, then I need a Guru Dakshina. Now, what is the meaning of a Guru Dakshina? Today, when we learn anything, we go to school or we have any kind of tuitions that we take, we have to pay money to the teachers. In the olden times, they never paid money. They either used to give them good clothes or give good food, or the king would give them a new house. So, like that, something in kind would be returned. So Eklavya very happily says, yes, of course, Guruji, what do you want? I will give you whatever you want. And Dronacharya says, I want you to cut your right thumb from your hand and give that to me as Guru Dakshina. Now the Pandavas are shocked, but Eklavya did not hesitate even 1 minute. He cut his right thumb and he gave it to Dronacharya. Why did Dronacharya ask for the thumb? Because when you're holding a bow, that time you need all your 5 fingers to hold a bow. If the thumb is not there, can he hold the bow? No. That means after that day onwards, Eklavya would not be able to do archery like before. He would never be the best archer, and that is what Dronacharya wanted. In spite of doing such a mean thing, Dronacharya was a good person, and Dronacharya told Eklavya, I'm extremely sorry to do this, but I promise you that you will be known as the best archer down in history. And from there they left. So what is the moral of this story? There can be 2 morals to this story. As a teacher should never say no that they do not want to teach any child. It should not be based on their status or their money or the kind of family they're coming from. Teaching should be open to everybody. That was the first thing Dronacharya should not have done. Second, Dronacharya should not have taken away Eklavya's thumb. Correct? That was a wrong thing to do. Sometimes out of affection we do things, we ask for things which are not fair, and definitely it was not fair, but history had to be written like this, and it was written. But let's take the positive side from this and see that what can we learn from Eklavya. Eklavya, in spite of the teacher saying no, did he give up on his learning? Did he say that, oh, now I cannot become an archer, now I don't have a good teacher, so I will never be the best? No, he found a solution for himself. He persevered, he made an idol, and because he respected and because he wanted the blessings of the teacher, and that's what he did every day before practicing with full heart and with full affection, he really became the best archer. Do we bow down to our parents? Do we respect them? Do we thank them for all they are giving us? No, I think we forget it. We take them for granted. Oh, they are my parents. They are supposed to give this to me. I don't think we should feel so entitled that our elders and our siblings give us everything, but we only do what we want to. That is not fair, right? So from Eklavya we must learn that don't give up. Supposing you wanted to be a part of a team, you could not be a part of a team, you were not selected. Does it mean you give up? Can't you practice more and do that for the next semester or for next year? You can do that, right? Similarly, in school, sometimes we do not get the teacher we wanted. We have a favorite teacher. We did not get that teacher. I would have loved my subject maths had I got that teacher. We tell up parents, so that's why I didn't get good grades, because this teacher is okay. But if I'm fond of maths, if I'm fond of studying, can I not practice on my own? I can. So we should not make excuses. Don't give up. Yeah, but by giving up, we're not giving ourselves a chance. And always respect your elders and anybody who has done or is doing something for you. So for example, you want to go for a sleepover and your parents say no, you cannot go for a sleepover. Is it nice to talk rudely to them? You don't understand, all my friends are going, everybody's going to have so much of fun, I'm going to miss out on it. There is a way to talk to our parents, there is a way to talk to our teachers. Don't disrespect them. They are doing it also out of love. Sometimes, yes, as adults and as elders we could be wrong, but there is a way that you can explain it to us. So learn to be nice, be polite, and always be respectful. Okay, I hope you like it. Bye.